Kenyatta may have been born in State House, but the road back there certainly has not been easy for him. Join me here at the Super Wall as I just show you what his now looks like, and we'll be basing that on the Constitution. So let's open up the Super Wall. All right, now according to the Constitution in Article 138, 140 and 141, those particular articles tell us how the road to State House will be mapped out, giving varied scenarios. Now, of course, for one, Uhuru Kenyatta, his challenge right now is the court case that we're expecting the court coalition to file tomorrow. Now, the petition, as far as the law is concerned, is expected to be filed within 7 days from the date of the election, and that is why we're expecting court to take the earliest opportunity, which is tomorrow, to move to the Supreme Court. Now, the Supreme Court is expected to rule 14 days after the filing of that case. Now, a fresh poll is to be held if that election is invalid, and of course the judges have serious merits and demerits to consider as to whether IEBC actually had conducted a flawed election in terms of the electronic equipment that did not work, and also in the announcements of varied results that court has contested. Now, IEBC is expected then to conduct a new poll within 60 days. That is if the judges actually agree with court that there was a problem in the election that was carried out on March the 4th. However, should that not be the case, then and the court is to uphold, of course, the election of Uhuru Kenyatta, then 7 days after it makes that ruling, then Uhuru Kenyatta is expected then to be sworn in as the president. Well, I want to welcome our Noah Otieno now in a short while. He's, of course, going to be taking a look at what Parliament has become. We do understand that the Jubilee coalition has taken a lead in both houses. Noah, take us through it.
Now, the parliamentary elections have created an interesting mix of party membership in the two houses of parliament, that is the Senate and the National Assembly. And what does this mean in terms of power play and passage of legislation in the two houses of parliament? We already know, for example, that the Jubilee coalition enjoys the lion's share of membership in the Senate, at least out of the 47 elective seats. The Code Alliance is trailing in the Senate already. Now, remember, of course, there will be 20 more senators coming because of nomination. That will be 18 women and 2 more women. Next, let us see what the balance is like in the National Assembly. In the National Assembly, once again, the Jubilee coalition enjoys a simple majority against their closest rivals, the CORD team. This, of course, means that the Jubilee controls effectively both houses of parliament, that is the Senate and the National Assembly. Next, let us see what this really means in terms of power play in the next government. Because Jubilee controls both houses of parliament, it means that Jubilee is likely to win both seats of Speaker in the Senate and the National Assembly. Why? Because the seat of the Speaker of the National Assembly and the seat of the Speaker of the Senate are elective positions, and elective positions means that those who have the numbers will carry the day. Next, let us see what else this gives the Jubilee coalition. Because they control the numbers in the Senate and also in the National Assembly, Jubilee is likely to have both positions of the Deputy Speaker of the Senate and the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. Why? Once again, because these are elective positions, and elective positions mean that if you have the numbers, you have the say. Next, let us see again what the balance of power in favor of the Jubilee coalition means for their government. It means that the Jubilee coalition once again will have the position of leader of majority in the National Assembly and the position of the leader of majority in the Senate. Why? Again, because these are guaranteed positions that are controlled by the party membership in Parliament. How many people do you have in the Senate? How many people do you have in the National Assembly? And because the Jubilee Alliance already automatically enjoys a majority in the Senate and also in the National Assembly, there is no debate about this. They are the leader of majority in both houses. So if Uhuru, the Jubilee coalition is going to have a very firm control of the Kenyan legislature. Next, let us see what else this balance of power means for the Jubilee government. Jubilee will be able to stop any impeachment bills in the National Assembly and in the Senate. remember, according to the Kenyan Constitution 2010, which we are calling the new constitution so far, the president can be impeached. That means the president can be removed if the National Assembly initiates a bill to remove the president for any breach of the constitution or any breach of the law that is specified by the constitution. Once such a bill is initiated in the National Assembly, the bill will have to go to the Senate. But because the Jubilee coalition has the numbers in the National Assembly, it is very unlikely that anybody who initiates a bill to impeach the president will pass that bill through the National Assembly. But should such a bill manage to pass the National Assembly and go to the Senate for consideration, once again the Jubilee team has the power to stop that bill of impeachment, either against the president or against the deputy president or any other constitutional office holder that is appointed by the Jubilee team. The power, the balance of power, of course, tilted to the advantage of the Jubilee team. The power in the hands of the Jubilee team in the both houses of parliament also mean that the Jubilee team, any appointments they make are likely to pass vetting. Remember, according to the new constitution, according to the Constitution of Kenya 2010, public appointments to constitutional offices, the cabinet secretaries and other constitutional office holders will have to be vetted by parliament. But because they have the numbers in the National Assembly and because they have the numbers in the Senate, any appointments they make are very, very likely to pass vetting in the National Assembly. Next, let us see what the balance of power in advantage of Jubilee also means for them. The Jubilee are also likely to control division of revenue. How is this so? Remember, the Constitution in Article 217 specifies that every 5 years the Senate will be considering the division of revenue allocated to the 47 counties. They will be agreeing how this revenue is going to be shared among the 47 counties. And because the Jubilee team enjoys that balance of power, because they have the power in the National Assembly and in the Senate, they are most likely to have the last word on how the money given for the 47 counties will be shared among the 47 counties. Now, these things apply only as long as the Jubilee members remain together. If they disagree within the 5 years they are going to be in government, if they fight among themselves, that is between TNA and URP, if at any moment they fall apart, then they lose this advantage, and then what is called horse trading is likely to begin in the National Assembly and in the Senate, and that is going to be vicious. But if they stay together to the very end, which is, there is nothing in the multi-party history of Kenya to show that coalitions stay together to the end. If they do not stay together, they are done, because the court then will have the power. But if they stay together, they will control this government to the end, and that is likely to be one of the best governments any president can ever hope for. When you have control of the National Assembly, when you have control of the Senate, and you also have control of the executive, effectively you have control of 2 out of 3 arms of government. A beautiful presidency. But will it stay that way? That we shall wait and see. My name is Noah Otieno. Back to you.